Are you looking for the best stereo amplifiers? In this video we will look at some of the best stereo amplifiers. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 5. Cambridge Audio AXA35. If you take your record collection seriously, you'll want an amplifier that will do your turntable justice. At 35 watts per channel, the Cambridge Audio AXA35 eschews sound quantity for sound quality, but it still gets plenty loud. The AXA35 keeps things simple, but you still get plenty of inputs and outputs. There are 4 analog line inputs, plus a dedicated phono input, complete with a moving magnet preamp, so you don't need a third-party preamp. You only get a single speaker output, but it's sturdy and will work with banana connectors. Interestingly, while the AXA35 doesn't directly include any digital audio inputs or streaming capability, it does let you add your own. A USB port on the back also lets you add a Bluetooth receiver if you'd like. The Cambridge Audio AXA35's front has only a few minimal controls. For everything else, you'll need to use the remote or navigate menus using the front panel controls and the built-in screen. It can be a little tedious, but all of the settings you need are available. While we mainly focus on the AXA35's vinyl playback capabilities, it sounds great with any source. If your audio components match, this fits perfectly with the Cambridge Audio AXC35 CD player. Number 4. Yamaha R-S202BL. Bluetooth in stereo amplifiers and receivers is odd. Although it works perfectly with headphones and speakers, receivers don't always implement it well. Fortunately, the Yamaha R-S202BL offers solid Bluetooth connectivity with a well-rounded receiver. Similar to our high-end pick, Yamaha keeps prices reasonable for the Yamaha R-S202BL by focusing on a core set of features. That means that while it does have Bluetooth, you don't get any of Yamaha's MusicCast wireless multi-room capabilities. This bare-bones approach also applies to the inputs and outputs. You get 3 RCA inputs plus a line-in/line-out channel, but no wired digital inputs. The speaker connectors are also thin and plastic and don't work with banana connectors. Fortunately, this minimalist feature set let Yamaha focus on the sound of this receiver, and it was worth it. Whether you're using a CD player, Bluetooth, or listening to the radio using the built-in receiver, it all sounds rich, full, and representative of whatever you may be listening to. Number 3. Marantz Stereo 70 SL. The Marantz Stereo 70 aims to sit somewhere in between a music-only setup and a full home theater system, putting its full focus on delivering crystal-clear stereo audio instead of increasing the channel count. If you're looking for an amplifier that can pull double duty playing your vinyl collection and your favorite concert films, this could be the perfect choice. Don't worry about the receiver's home theater tendencies taking away from its music focus. You get 3 pairs of RCA line inputs plus another phono input for your turntable that includes a preamp. You also get coaxial and optical digital audio inputs, as well as 6 HDMI inputs. Looking at the outputs, you get the standard A and B pairs of stereo speaker outputs. When it comes to digital, the only output is the single HDMI output, ideally meant to be used with a TV. You also get a pair of preamp outputs to run to as many as 2 subwoofers, plus a Zone 2 output, which lets you run to another room. Of course, wired multi-room audio isn't easy to set up, so Marantz has included HEOS wireless multi-room streaming support in the Stereo 70s. This lets you sync and play music simultaneously over Wi-Fi to other compatible receivers, speakers, and other audio gear throughout your home. Wireless connectivity isn't limited to multi-room either, as you can also stream Spotify and AirPlay 2 to the amplifier straight from your phone. The front panel controls are simple, elegant, and reminiscent of older audio amplifiers. You control everything with a few simple knobs, including selecting inputs, changing volume, and adjusting the balance. For EQ, you get a simple but effective 2-band bass and treble pairing. Playing your high-res audio files via the Stereo 70s is easy, thanks to built-in digital decoding of up to 192 kHz/24-bit PCM audio as well as DSD files. Number 2. Fosi Audio BT20A. The first thing you'll notice about the Fosi Audio BT20A is its small size compared to most amplifiers. Thanks to the Class D amplification this model uses, it's capable of pumping 100 watts per stereo channel despite its small form, so you don't need to worry about losing out on audio quality here. To match its minimal footprint, the BT20A keeps things simple regarding controls. On the front of the unit you get a power switch, a status LED, and 3 knobs to control treble, bass, and volume. When it comes to analog, you only get a single RCA line input. Similarly, you get a stereo speaker output though. Despite the size of the BT20A, these outputs accept the bigger banana plugs. In addition to the wired connectivity, you also get Bluetooth 5.0 built in. On the Amazon page, Fosi Audio notes that you also won't have any pops or other audible noise when you establish a connection, which is nice to see in an amplifier in this price range. Given its minimalist design, it's not surprising that the BT20D doesn't feature a subwoofer output. That said, if you'd like one, you can opt for the slightly bigger and pricier Fosi Audio BT30D, which has a subwoofer output with its own volume control. Number 1. Sony STR-DH190. For many people looking to build out their audio setup, the jack-of-all-trades Sony STR-DH190 is a great option. Wired or wireless, this S/V receiver has plenty of connectivity, and it sounds great to boot. When it comes to wired inputs, the Sony STR-DH190 only offers analog inputs, but you will get 5 of them. 4 inputs let you plug in CD or streaming players, while a dedicated phono input lets you play your vinyl records. As for speakers, you get 2 pairs of outputs that let you switch between speakers or turn them all on at the same time. These outputs won't fit banana plugs, and they're not as sturdy as they should be, but that's one of only a few downsides of this receiver. On the other hand, this receiver does feature wireless connectivity in the form of Bluetooth. This isn't quite as high fidelity as plugging in a high-quality source, but it's hard to deny its convenience. As this is a receiver and not an integrated amplifier, you do get built-in radio reception. This is limited to FM only, but as this is a music-focused receiver and AM radio isn't great for music, this isn't a major loss. Finally, this receiver includes a remote. You'll actually need this, as you can't access some functions without it, but it also lets you easily adjust volume and switch sources. Just be sure not to lose it.